Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elder that came before them that taught us his truth. And Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, this lesson is going to go into bring the noise or bring the chaos. And how you going to get that done? You're gonna use racism. All right, start the race war, if you will. All right, so what are the men of the Lord supposed to do? We're supposed to call it out and shine a light on it and warn you, what's coming and how to deal with this. So anyway, your instructions, Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy. First, you got to know who your enemy is, or first you got to know that you're an Israelite and who are the enemies of Israel, pursuant to Psalm 83. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, okay? Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. All right, so let's take a look at this guy humbling himself and going crouching, right? Right here, Biden at university says most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is him, right? Of course, right? What was that bill that he passed in 90, the something bill, I forget. Okay, let's watch this one, a quick one, and listen to this devil. Never trust your enemy. This is him humbling himself and going crouching. He's at Howard University, surrounded by Negroes, and then he's going to pander to them.
Stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. And I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU. I say it wherever I go.
Esau was done. He was mad hearing that. Here he is looking like the Grand Dragon, right? Okay, so you got to understand what's going on right now. You got this, right? And we'll come back to this. Play a couple of videos here. All right, why would he say that? Did that not just make all white America mad as hell? I believe it did. Let me go back to it real quick.
We're reinventing our network.
It's not the same ones. Let's just look at the... let's look at some comments. Racism on his mind because it is in his heart. Right? True laugh. Racism on his mind. Let's see. But I thought he said he was going to stop all of that when he got elected. Okay. You have it backwards. Look at that. Oh, it's black supremacy, right? Yeah. Whenever he says this is the truth, not a joke, or it's bigger, it's a bigger bold-faced lie than his normal life. Okay, so what he's saying, okay, when he says that, that's absolutely true, right? When you're dealing with the truth, yeah, white supremacy is the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland. It is. Okay, but for him to say it, does he mean that? What is he doing? He's stirring up both sides. He's bringing division. Okay, is he not? We'll get back to that. What is this? Let's watch this real quick. This is Next News Network, Franchi. Next News Network, 1 hour ago. Biden's dangerous rhetoric, white supremacy as homeland's terror threat. That is true, okay? The replacement theory has got these fools going out and committing these mass shootings, and I mean, there's actual statistics on it. So
President Biden has labeled white supremacy as the most dangerous threat to America. This came during his commencement address at Howard University, stirring the pot of an already racially tense nation.
Yep, stirring the pot. No, that's calling it out for what it is. All right, what is he doing? And then this Mayorkas guy is doing the same thing. So when you got all of these public officials saying something, first of all, that they know is true, right? Coming against their own, causing their own tongue to fall upon themselves. What's actually going on?
His remarks have sparked uproarious backlash from conservatives who question the validity of his claim and decry its divisiveness. Meanwhile, the border crisis rages on unchecked, further highlighting the discord between the administration's rhetoric and the reality of national threat.
Okay, so what's going on here? What do we see? We see from the very top they're stirring up a race war. Is what they're doing. These devils are mad as hell. They're getting called out. They're getting replaced. Okay, they got their troops in place now. I'm talking about the UN troops that they led across the border. Right? They're getting in their uniforms and putting on their blue helmets right now and getting issued their machine guns to lock this place down.
Stay informed on Biden's destructive rhetoric. Tap subscribe and enable your notifications. President Biden's speech at Howard University, a historically black institution, has set off a blaze of controversy. The commander-in-chief made the audacious claim that white supremacy is the largest threat to American democracy, a statement that was met with applause from the crowd. But outside the university, reactions were far from supportive. Watch.
That's called division. Why would that fool say that? This is part of the game plan. The game plan is to stir up division between the races and get something cracking out here so that they can lock it down.
To stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Look at Esau.
I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU.
Jake laughs.
I say it wherever I go.
Look at him.
Conservatives across the nation expressed their outrage at the president's remarks. Many viewed them as a blatant attempt to stoke racial division and divert attention from the current crisis facing our nation.
Nope. It's all working together. The border crisis, that's Jake coming up from down there. And then you got Moab coming in to report to his duty station, put on his uniform, and get issued his weapon to lock this thing down.
Foundation for Economic Education managing editor John Miltmore highlighted the Democrats' historical exploitation of racial discord to secure electoral victories, suggesting they're repeating this strategy in the 21st century. Conservative influencer Elijah Schaffer also chimed in, succinctly summarizing Biden's address, stating, Biden just told a bunch of black people that white supremacy is the greatest threat to America. And RNC Research, Jake Schneider, labeled Biden as the divider-in-chief. In the meantime, the border crisis continues to worsen. Alejandro Mayorkas, the Department of Homeland Security chief, appeared on MSNBC to discuss the issue. Instead of focusing on the crisis at hand, he echoed Biden's views, agreeing that white supremacy is the greatest threat of terrorism to the United States. Watch.
The president yesterday at his commencement address for the Howard University graduates called white supremacy the major domestic terror threat.
Mayorkas is the one I was talking about, if I got it wrong. Okay. And Don Lemon said this a couple of years ago. He's out of a job.
This country. Is that correct?
It tragically is. in the terrorism context, domestic violent extremism is our greatest threat right now. Individuals driven to violence because of ideologies of hate, anti-government sentiments, false narratives, personal grievances, and the like. And regrettably, we have seen a rise in white supremacy.
Okay, now everything he just said applies to the men of the Lord, or they're going to apply it to the men of the Lord. They're doing an end run. They're blaming it on Esau right now. They're causing the division, stoking the division. When something jumps off, when Jake has enough and has to fight back, then they're coming straight after the men of the Lord with these exact laws and this exact narrative. I'm going to let everything he's about to say, they're going to apply it to the men of the Lord. Falsely. I mean, we're supposed to feel the way that we do, and there's a reason why, and it's a righteous thing. All right, to recompense trouble to them that trouble you. All right, paraphrase.
Right now, individuals driven to violence because of ideologies of hate, anti-government sentiments, false narratives, personal grievances, and the like. And regrettably, we have seen a rise in white supremacy.
This stance is proving controversial, considering Mayorkas has overseen the entry of millions of illegal migrants, including those involved in child and drug trafficking. He's now facing calls for impeachment from House Majority Whip Tom Elmer, who criticized Mayorkas for his failure to act as the chief border official. Elmer believes Mayorkas' inaction and lack of responsibility regarding the border crisis is grounds for impeachment. And according to Elmer, the overwhelmed southern border stands as a prime example of what he deems as the greatest malfeasance by President Joe Biden's top border official. This controversy is the latest in a series of crises facing the Biden administration. The dissonance between the administration's rhetoric and the actual crisis plaguing our nation is becoming increasingly evident. While the president paints white supremacy as America's greatest threat, many argue that the unchecked border crisis and the influx of illegal migrants pose a more immediate danger. The administration's focus on white supremacy, as opposed to more tangible and immediate crises, is raising eyebrows and inciting criticism from many quarters. As the nation battles the border crisis, economic uncertainties, and of course the wind down of the pandemic, the question remains, are we focused on the real threats facing our country, or are we being led astray by politically convenient narratives?
Nope, what we're doing is we're watching this devil go crouching, our enemy. Okay, let's look at this. Yep, just another thing to completely divide the American people. And yeah, not a surprise. Somebody said this guy's looking like dressed as the Grand Dragon. Where is it? Must have been on another post. Okay, so anyway. All right, so we got two things here. We have this guy saying that white supremacy is the problem. Then we have the border crisis, right? What else is stirring up? The race war. Let's have a look, yeah? We got this Cabrera. Let's look at Cabrera real quick.
Date on.
It's Lisa Cabrera. Ron DeSantis' tweet skyrocketed Daniel Penny's defense crowdfunding to over $1 million. Why are they giving this guy money? All right, for murdering. Okay, what this is doing is it's showing you how these devils really feel. All right, he clearly murdered a Jake with help, right? But what are they doing? They're handing him money for his defense. This dude is about to make a whole bunch of money, right? Listen to Cabrera.
Raised $1 million in crowdfunding for Daniel Penny Oh, and according to Tim Scott, America is not a racist country. I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Jay Hurdell Hall, for this story. And I'm not surprised. Y'all remember George Zimmerman? They were killing each other to go over there and donate for him. So this is just further proof that nothing has changed in America in regards to racism. Nothing has changed. We're just in a different era, but the attitudes are the same as their forefathers had. So that's what them folks are showing you. Daniel Penny crowdsourced defense funds nears $1 million as Ron DeSantis, that's why I drag him in videos, Ron DeSantis throws support behind the man who choked and murdered Jordan Neely to death.
Okay, good enough. Let's just read this. We really are in a war with these people. A lot of our people refuse to realize it, despite acts like this and those who support them. Right? Unfortunately, DeSantis is right about his assessment. This country obviously has his and every other race soldier's back. So here we are. Okay? This is another thing that is not going away. Another thing that's being used to what? To bring this race war. Okay? When they put Negroes, this is going to be Summer of Love #2. Bum Floyd, right? If you understand what that is. Let's look at this. Okay, where's this thing going? What is Esau doing? All right, this is a month ago. News 4 San Antonio Border Protection Militia Unit would allow civilians to make arrests. What is this? We're going to deputize anybody with a gun to go and make it legal to do what? Put a nigga in a chokehold and choke him the fuck out and walk free. Down on the border. You see what they're doing here? This is a month ago. They know. All of this is in the pipeline. They know what's going on.
On Fox, civilians could soon be allowed to make arrests at the border. Supporters of a bill now in the Texas legislature say it would crack down on people crossing the border illegally. As Fox San Antonio's Amanda Henderson reports tonight, critics say the bill terrifies them.
As Texas's deadline to file bills looms, House Republicans filed one aimed at border security. The 11th hour submission is gaining support and opposition.
That we can certainly, here in Texas, build our own militia that can protect our own borders because of those that fail to protect our homes.
This is extremely scary for the future of Texas as well as the rest of the nation because we've seen states adopt other states' laws.
State Representative Matt Schaefer of Tyler filed House Bill 20 and has the support of the Speaker of the House. If signed into law, it will create a border protection unit with the goal to arrest, detain, and deter those who cross the border illegally. You can be an officer as long as you don't have a felony. However, in order to conduct arrests, you must be authorized by the governor after being trained.
Right now, we can use all the help and any help at all that we can get because we're being overrun down here on the border. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that needs to be ironed out. We're going to find enough bed space in our facilities to lock them up. I have a 66-bed unit. I have 63 inmates currently in my facility.
Customs and Border Protection says so far this fiscal year, Border Patrol has come across nearly 800,000 migrants.
This dude right here, those joined unto them shall die by the sword. Remember that going in.
Say this bill could impact those numbers.
With this new division that would be used to fulfill a gap in safety and security that the federal government is failing to give us.
Critics say it could cause more issues.
The more confusion there is, the less likely chances of more order. This is not the Wild West. This happened back then. They would just deputize people, and obviously that didn't go well.
Even if the bill passes, it could still face opposition.
And I think it's possible that the federal government, just like they did in Arizona, will challenge this law. This is the ultimate show me your papers.
The papers, please.
Border Protection Unit would be part of the Texas Department of Public Safety, so we reached out to DPS for comment. They say that they cannot on pending legislation. Amanda Henderson, Fox News at 9.
All right, so you see where this is going. All right. This is all part of a larger plan. All right. So things are about to get buck wild by design right here. Who's designing it? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Let's get that and go ahead and close. Where are we going? Isaiah 19. Here's what we got. It's clearly jumping off here. Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay? Americans against the Americans. All right? And they shall fight everyone against his brother. Jacob and Esau are brothers, are they not? Okay, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So we're at this point, and this precept is jumping off the page, right? Nay, rather, division. It's coming from the top, right? I tell you, nay. Let me see if I can get this. What is that, Luke? What about Yahushua? This is our conversation is in the heavens. All right? Luke 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. Right? I tell you nay, but rather division. So it's coming from the top. This is coming from the top. Man's goings are of the Lord, right? Proverbs 21 and 1, right? Who's the king? Let's go back to Sleepy Joe. Where's Sleepy Joe at? Let's get his ass up here. Where's Caesar at? Where's Sleepy Joe? Right here, this guy. Right? Get a picture of him.
Racism.
That guy. Speaking on race, what is he doing? He's dividing, is he not? And why? Start at the King James. The king's heart, that's the king. His mind is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. In LT, the king's heart is like a stream of water directed by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He guides it wherever he pleases. Let's go down to new. Good news. The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, controls the mind. What is that? Mind control. Supreme mind control, not MK Ultra, MK Supreme. Controls the mind of the king as easily as he directs the course of a stream. So he's got these devils thinking that, oh, well, all we got to do is divide these people and walk them right into what? This chaotic situation, and then bring control. Then bring the solution. Problem, reaction, solution. All right? So, repent. Right? Be zealous. Right? What do? Be ye zealous. And Revelation 3 and 19. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. All right. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. All right? With that, get yourselves ready. This ain't going nowhere. It's going to escalate. All right? Like a pregnant woman. All right? So with that, we hope that the elector edified you, brothers and few sisters. With that, we're going to say shalom.